while you clear their board, that sort of thing. And suddenly the rogue's on 14 or 16, and that's the end of the game.
Yeah.
But the other way, we saw No Hands do it very well a moment ago, and he's doing it very well now. Look at this hand.
Ooh. Do you keep the neophyte?
I keep the
Shadow Step. I think you keep Jandice Shadow Step. The neophyte.
You definitely keep Jandice Shadow Step, and I think
you keep the neophyte. No! DreadEye had a great start with the Incanter's Flow, but then double Fireball came off the mulligan, so.
Okay, well, nothing doing here unless you want to coin it, but that slows your Jandice down. You don't want to slow your Jandice down. As much as you want to stop them flowing on 2, you can't use the coin here. Okay. So, all right. That seems okay.
Font, so you have something. Combustion. He's got so much removal already. I guess with a 3 keep and you not seeing anything, you expect Jandice, and Combustion's great against Jandice.
It is. Yeah, you're probably even expecting Jandice Step the way this has gone. Like, what else could it be? But just play Lunacy. And then you're good.
All right, so 1 Incanter's Flow and Deck of Lunacy. Now he's got some protection. Got some Libram of Hopes in his deck. Let's look how many. He started off with 4 7-drops, and he drew a Flame Strike, so now he has 3 Libram of Hopes out of the 21 cards left in his deck.
Gonna need him. And he's got one. There you go. That's how that works.
Wait. I'm curious why you No. Serpentine Portal first.
But what does that even do? That's one of the cards I actually don't. I'm pretty good this year, but I don't know what that portal does.
I don't even think you Arcane Intellect there. I think you're supposed to ping the 4/4. Because if you ping the 4/4, if it's not the illusion, then you combustion, you kill the stealth minion.
Right.
Right? That's way better, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, it is. Because that thing's a problem and you can't kill it unless you do it that way, which, yeah, absolutely.
And then if you ping it and it is the illusion, then you Arcane Intellect and you didn't spend a combustion. You did the exact same thing. You spent the same amount of mana. But now you have a combustion in hand.
Yes, absolutely. Yep, I'm with you.
I don't know. That's sketchy. I mean, right now it doesn't matter because he has Flame Strike, but he could have saved himself 5 damage. Is what I'm getting at.
Oh, Jandice Wand Thief.
What makes something real?
Oh, that's a bad Jandice in 2021, anyway.
Yeah. Overall, still decent stats, but yes, it's not the greatest.
Tries to find the 3rd Shadow Step and is disappointed.
I think Deep Freeze, you just need minions.
Yeah. Rogue, I mean, he's about to lose. If he loses the Jandice on the board now, he's kind of out of things for a while. So just some... It doesn't matter they're a little bit overcosted. Just some minions that do something.
All right. Both steps are gone, so DreadEye doesn't have to worry too much about getting rid of this Jandice, but he can do it. He can go Serpentine Portal, Brain Freeze the Jandice, and then Libram of Hope. He overloads, but I don't think it's a big deal to have 7 mana next turn. He can also just clean... He can also Chaos Nova Ping. There's so much that he can do. This is just a nice, efficient use of mana to clean up the board and do the same thing while keeping the Libra of Hopes. I mean, there's like 10 different great plays.
Yeah. And honestly, like, the mistake we've seen, not many, but 1 or 2 people make with Mage is not doing any of them. Like, just start pointing your cards at the things is... I hate being inefficient. You want to make the best plays, but if you make the 3rd best play with a Mage and don't sort of mess up the rest of your turn, that's fine a lot of the time. Just don't make it worse than that. If it looks logical and it makes sense to you, just do it and get on with it. No hands though. Once again, sort of clocking up that damage pretty well. Gonna have to do it with the flingers this time because I don't think his board's going to really get it done.
He can't afford to get rid of his flingers. He needs the damage, I think.
He's gonna get you. Yeah, he could have played the watch post, and he's like, you know what? I haven't got long left. I need to do every single point of damage.
Yeah, but I mean, this is. Welcome to Mage.
That is insane.
Yeah. That's the most insane outcome from Super Stripe World because he has double Penflinger in hand. He can't even play his Penflingers. And a 5. He's gonna put it. Did he go? Oh wow, that's just BM. He would already had a full board with. He would already had a full board with Penflingers. I mean, just to give it Divine Shield. Oh, this one is. Yeah, this is over.
Yep. Just Mage. All that chip damage I was talking about that DreadEye has done. Just look at it.
I'm a huge fan of chip damage.
Who does he play for? Which of these wonderful cards would you like to connect with the board, DreadEye? You have options.
Oh, this is solid. I like this. Just keep your minions intact.
Yeah. Sure.
You don't need the fireball to go to face.
Like, yeah, how does No Hands get through this?
Yeah.
I mean, he can get through it, but how does he get through it and not, like, be completely out of the game with the Librum of Hope in DreadEye's hand as well? Pass.
Hands needs Kazakis plus poison. Something like that.
Yeah.
That Auspicious Spirits.
If you want always being greedy, obviously the stab is about to go to the 3rd level.
Yep. No reason for DreadEye to play anything because his board's going to fill with 2/2s anyway. Oh man, I would hate to be in this position if I was No Hands. I would have yeeted myself out of this game long ago.
You'd have yoinked yourself out of the game. But No Hands is tenacious. Reads all of the cards to make sure that they haven't changed into good ones.
I don't see a way out for him.
I mean, there's an evocation in hand, so there's always a way, I guess. Wait, was that a thing? I don't think there's a way he could have ordered it to happen, but could he have got the Octo on the evocation at any point there and tried to have some sort of like crazy pretend you're Mage turn?
I don't think it would have mattered. I think right now he's just going to run out of damage.
I mean, sure. I'm trying to keep the game interesting, TJ. At this point.
Yeah, I see.
Because I think that the person with, 2 pen flingers and evocation is a bit behind the person with a board full of stuff.
I mean, DreadEye doesn't even care at this point. Like, he just took an extra damage on one of his treants for no reason when he could have pinged.
Yeah.
And instead pinged face. So I think he's just on, like, autopilot at this point.
12, 14? Yeah, sure. And that's what happens with Mage, isn't it? You end up in that spot because it is actually more criminal not to finish your turn than it is to get the turn exactly right. No, that's not... None of these cards, nothing here. Nothing here does anything. And you can do this how you like.
Chaos Nova.
Heal your minion back up with your other minion that does the same thing.
Yeah, I guess it does.
Yeah, Germination. Sure.
You can freeze one of them. I like the Chaos Nova better. It damages your own minions, but it sets up a 2-turn lethal because now you can freeze one of them. Not that it matters.
It's the only time you'll see it.
Oh, wait. Kazakis, 5-drop. Poisonous, deal 3 damage to 2 minions. He could snipe both Librams. Didn't get it.
Can I go back to my joke now?
He didn't get either.
Cool. Because it's the only time you're going to see the German nation competing in Americas.
He can still get a freeze on both of them. Freeze is 1. But the Chaos Nova and... Oh no, they're both frozen because the Water Elemental from last turn. Okay, so it's not lethal.
Now who's trying to keep it interesting, huh?
Okay, so if he had hit, like, poison into double 3 and sniped the 2 10-11s,
that was relevant.
Small chance if every card in DreadEye's deck were dead. But it was, even from that point, it was incredibly unlikely.
He's just keeping the second limb of hope so he doesn't waste the 8 healing. Like, it's just so much over. But now he has the pen flinger.
Spirits.
It doesn't return to his hand. Interactions, everybody.
Yeah, because it's just a
know them.
Keep it around.
Well played.
And I'm not sure who's BMing who at this point, but No Hands loses the war of words because Eve up means that he goes 1-0 down. And DreadEye, look at him, he's excited.
Yep, solid game. I still think it was a little messy earlier on, but when you have Deck of Lunacy and a Canter's Flow, it's hard to not get there, right? Just like a couple of small mechanical errors, just like he did in the previous Deck of Lunacy Mage game that he had. But in the end, doesn't end up mattering. So still takes a win, still gets the good cards, and now he's got Paladin and Demon Hunter left remaining. And I think both of his decks are good against Mage. So I think No Hands Mage has to be a little worried. But I think that the Demon Hunter might struggle against the other two. Might struggle against the Priest, and it might struggle against the Rogue. So I think No Hand still has some game left in the series, but
yeah. I mean, you've got a Mage, and you've let your opponent's Mage go through against somebody who's brought a lineup that tries to beat Mage. But we saw that with Fled. Fled had 3 decks that beat Mage, and one of them got maged on turn 5, and there was nothing he could do. And that's why it is awkward to target the best deck in the meta. It always has been. It's a strategy that I've actually done myself in a match a long, long time ago, where I targeted the best deck in the meta, and I 4-0'd it, obviously, because I'm great. But it's not a wise strategy.
all right. No Hands. Sorry, for some reason I thought the Rogue was banned and not the Paladin, but now I realize
That's the problem, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, banning the Paladin is making this a lot easier for these decks that don't like taunts being in the way.
Yeah.
And this is a deck that doesn't like taunts being in the way. I guess as the Mage, you can find... you can freeze face, make some 3/6s, keep freezing face, but the trouble is it's not like the old weapon Demon Hunter. This is a deck where weapons are a big part of it, but there's still other things going on. Like Kazak.
There's other things going on, but like it has no wide removal, right? Outside of Warglaves of Azeroth, there's no board sweeps like you have in Soul Demon Hunter. So you're gonna lose a lot of games to decks that just go wide, especially like Paladin, you know. But that's why he's getting rid of it. So Rogue, I can see it having some struggles with beating Rogue. But in a lot of Rogue games, you can go over the top. You can just say, I'm just going to ignore your board. It takes you a while to set up big damage outside of Jandis. So if I can kill you on 8 with an Inquisitor, then I'm going to opt to do that instead. NoHand's going to go with the Mage instead, though. So we're going to get to see the Demon Hunter's best matchup once again.
Yep.
It's not an auto win, but it's pretty good against Mage. That's essentially the only reason why it's in DreadEye's lineup.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's another advantage, which it doesn't matter so much against Mage, but when you bring your own concoction to a tournament, everyone practices all the other decks and hopes they don't play you. Because it's not worth their time, unless they're in the semi-final it is, because you know who you're playing. So Luna would have practiced against that deck. But everybody else doesn't really know they're going to play against that deck. So the best way to play test it is not. Put your time into a pre-smear that you'll know you're going to probably get, or whatever, and hope you don't play the stupid Demon Hunter deck. Now, they're all good players. They can work it out pretty quickly on the fly, obviously. But you do have that, when you do bring your off-the-wall homebrew, which it almost is, people haven't tested against it.
Yeah, that's true. Though, players have had a chance to test against, and you mentioned like you're not going to practice against a semi-final deck, but if you have confidence in yourself, you are. So,
well, no, because you might not have confidence in DreadEye. You just hope the other person wins.
Well, so you're really only practicing 2 decks per play against 2 decks per player, right? And if you really are serious about it, you're only practicing against 1 deck per player.
That's fair. That's a good point.
Because
you played Paladin.
Fled's gone. Mage and Paladin are a given, and you're banning a deck. So you're really only practicing against the 4th deck. So if I'm NoHands, I'm practicing a pre-smear because you're playing Monsanto first and you didn't expect him to ban it, and that can be a tough matchup, one that takes a long time to practice. And I'm practicing against DreadEye's Demon Hunter because, and maybe Token Druid because Luna had it on the other side, but that's it. So maybe, I don't know. All right, Font of Power Combustion Keep?
Yeah.
Refreshing Spring Water, great. Font of Power and Combustion?
I mean, your opponent's playing minions, and they're going to hit you with minions, but you're playing Lunacy, and you're now playing minions, and you're not playing them for a long time. Oh.
Okay. I hate doing this, but I'm bringing up stats. On coin, Deck of Lunacy, 70% win rate when kept in the mulligan. Combustion, 52% win rate when kept in the mulligan. I don't care if it's a minion-based deck.
Right. There's enough rogues and
Deck of Lunacy and Incanter's Flow. They've got 10+% a higher win rate when kept in the mulligan than any other card. Font of Power, I can understand. Font of Power with the Refreshing Spring Water already in hand, I can understand. But that Combustion was lackluster. Yes, he stopped some damage, but It's not about stopping the early game. It's about having explosive turns in the mid game.
Yeah, this.
I know I'm spending way too much time on the mulligan, and I know like NoHandsGamer can't defend himself, and I would like to give him the chance like later on when after the series is over. But
do you know the best way to get a player to defend themselves in this industry, TJ? It's to criticize them when they're playing and be wrong, and then we will soon work out why.
okay, well, honestly, I hope
Twitter
I'm
will
wrong.
be full of it when they watch the
I
stream.
hope he can prove me wrong, but especially if I have refreshing spring water in my hand, I throw away everything else and I look for Incanter's Flow and I look for Deck of Lunacy.
Yep.
No matter the deck, even if I know I'm facing like a face hunter, right? Because I know that I can deal with the early game you can deal with the early game all you want, but if you're not getting that explosive mid game, you're just not doing enough.
And this Demon Hunter, to be fair, it doesn't really have an amazing curve 1, 2, 3 that often. It has a pretty good early game, but it's not Face Hunter. It's make good cards every turn card game deck.
This is starting to get a little tough for DreadEye, though.
Demon.
I wonder if he ends up going for a 1-mana poison golem here. There's two options, I think. There's a 1-mana poison golem, and there's a
Fury Eye Beam.
a 5-mana lifesteal golem.
It's Fury Eye Beam or Fury Eye Beam Eye Beam.
What, you go all face, but then you eye beam the...
You like this?
You can just Fury once, and then Hero Power and double attack. He's healthy enough. Ignore Dominion! Cool.
Yeah, I expected the minion to take it, to be honest, but it didn't. So, No Hands is on 12 suddenly, to be fair. With another Fury next hand and Inquisitor in 2 turns' time. Maybe he just thinks he wins this race. That's a pretty good race. Oh, No Hands.
Why didn't he attack? Why didn't he kill the 4/4 last turn?
I don't know. That's what I was expecting. I think he thought he had 2-turn lethal with the Fury and the Inquisitor. Well, 2-turn lethal spread over 3 turns, where he does nothing in the middle one.
Well, that makes no sense, because if that's what he thought, then he would kill the 4/4, because then he would only take 4 damage from it instead of 8 damage from it. He would need to have not attacked with his weapon at all. He hit it. Did he hit? Okay. See, if he had just killed it last turn!
Yup. But he's in trouble now. 7, 8.
The reason not to kill it would be if he's setting up a 2-turn lethal. He'd only take 4 damage from it, right? If he was setting up a 2-turn lethal. So it wouldn't matter. He could leave it up all he wants. But there's no way that he had a 2-turn lethal, no matter what he drew from his deck. Even if he drew like Relentless Pursuit. Even if he drew like... He would have to draw Skull off the top into double Relentless Pursuit. And something else. Right?
Wait, is that right? 3, 5. Okay, yes, you're right.
What, lethal?
Yes. No, I'm checking your numbers, and you're right. You are right.
Yeah.
About the 2-turn.
Yeah, and that's just it's. Don't think about that because it's too crazy, right?
He just missed with 7 shots at this 1/1. By the way, he could have just pinged it. He chose to mask it, and it lived.
It's still not lethal.
But No Hands thinks it is because of the case you just made.
Oh no, it is lethal. It is lethal because he rushes in, then attacks with the 1/1. Gah!
Because of how it worked out.
Never
without a
punished.
minion on board. Yeah.
Oh well.
Mask of
That was a weird game. I'm sure that some of my being triggered that game was unnecessary, particularly with the mulligan from No Hands, because he might have played this matchup and has a high priority on board, which actually ended up working out.
Yeah.
But I honestly think you kill that 4/4 because you're not setting up a 2-turn lethal. The only way is if he wanted to hold on to his weapon swing for turn 8. But I don't think he gets there. And if I don't know, he would not swing his weapon at all on turn 7. He'd be playing Kazakis and making a golem. Like, he had 2 cards in his hand that were attack. He would literally be making a golem, and that's it. So I don't know.
Only did the mask miss the minion that was going to poison his 7/8, but it also did the 1 damage that was required for lethal.
Yeah.
That was harsh.
Yep. So,
but yeah, looking at it again,
it would have been a lethal setup if No Hands didn't have a taunt in the way. He wouldn't have even masked that turn. He would have protected against Inquisitor, because that would be the obvious lethal. So I don't know. I'm done talking about that sequence of events. Let's move on.
Okay.
It's all tied up 1-1. Libram Paladin. He's got the more aggressive version of the Libram Paladin with consistency. I like the Libram of Judgment, the Carrier Roam. He's got playable cards every single turn. I like this deck.
And again, because the Libram of Judgment's there, and the very short version is Libram of Judgment goes face for 15. And against Mage,
Yes.
that kills mages a lot.
Yep, against Mage, that is what you need to do. Just
and against
burst
Priest,
them out.
Against Priest, that's also pretty good, because you mentioned before, it's a bit different with Paladin than it is that Demon Hunter, because Demon Hunter's coming for massive damage. But you mentioned before, Priests do not like that repeated, chunky damage every turn. They like to have a bit of a breather and recover and then do it again. But
Yep.
5/5/5 with any sort of backup is a lot coming in. 2-0 up. He's only lost all week from Thursday. He's only lost 4 games of Hearthstone as DreadEye.
Apologies. I said it was tied up 1-1, but it is 2-0. For some reason, I thought that No Hands won that last game.
He won it in our hearts, TJ.
Yeah. There you go. All right.
4 losses Thursday for DreadEye. Going well. Not the hand you're looking for at all. Well, not at all, but not a great hand for No Hands. Because it hasn't got lunacy in it. 70-something. What is it? 70? How many percent?
70 plus on both the coin and...
Wow. Doesn't find one this way.
Netherman Portal already has a Flame Strike in hand. Oasis Ally is not the greatest.
They will never catch me.
Yep, just dump your hand. Play your cards.
Yeah, I'm looking for something clever here, but dump your hand and play your cards just seems smart right now.
Yep.
Plays around Combustion.
At this point, I think you're going to need to go for a decisive swing turn, so I think you'd play the more expensive Arcane Intellect.
Yes, I like this. And then save the other one for either a cheap fill later or you never play it, maybe.
Ooh, some solid pickups here.
Needs them, though, because DreadEye... Oh.
Yep, Sword of the Fallen.
Choices. Yeah.
Ooh, what?
I like Sword there to defend my board with Yogg. amongst other things. Avenge on my Divine Shield minion. And Horse, because it's amazing.
Yeah, his Librum's already going to get discounted. I get it's a 4-3 and he's trying to pressure, but I feel like Sword of the Fallen having no hands being forced to tiptoe around specific secrets is pretty important, but whatever. I guess
Nice.
netting 4 damage here instead of it would have been 2 damage with Sword of the Fallen over 2 turns is quite good.
Okay. But also you might now have a 4-4 that you don't have because Yogg might have done Yogg things.
Yeah.
Making
Diversifying against devolving missiles.
Yep. I don't mind this because if it hits the other minions, then they're still okay. So I like that as well. Out of 10, by the way, No Hands. We've been watching some small but medium damage coming in, and he's on 10. Just like that. Against a pen finger.
But he could start cleaning up this board. He could go ping, hit, combustion. Actually, he can go ping, refreshing spring water. And then combustion.
This helps a lot. In
Oh, now, he
theory.
can go brain freeze combustion and protect his 5/6. Actually, even go face with the 5/6.
Sure.
And even fit in an arcane intellect.
The one that he saved that's cheaper from earlier, just to highlight that.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I think I'm killing off the 1/3 as well.
Sure.
Nicely done. Great sequencing.
He needed all of that. He needed it, and he's still got a really good-looking hand as well. This is the deck you want to see, right? This is the one that you want to exist.
I drew the Reliquary Prime immediately. Oh, jeez.
Seems like good play.
This is why I kind of wanted the Sword of the Fallen out right now, because now it's just going to take a while before it's going to be played.
And also, that last turn wouldn't have been anywhere near as strong with Yoggs and Horses and things going on. And Avengers. It just makes it so much harder to deal with that board. Try to be efficient here. Try to work out which cards you're not going to use on the face and work from there. Your 5/5 minion will use on the face more than once in a lot of situations, so you'd rather not use that.
This is actually tough because with Runedorb and Apexis Blast, he can kill off the 8/8, but he doesn't have enough mana to ping in between, and it only kills it off with spell damage on the board, so he can't trade his lab partner.
Yeah, I was getting to that point as well. Yeah, it's annoying for him how it's worked out. Turn of Cold Freeze it, pass. Do it again next turn properly.
Yeah. Yeah, Ring Toss Cone of Cold.
Time runs out on me.
You don't have to deal with it now, you just have to not
Mirror.
die now.
Oh my god, Mirror. No, he didn't.
What, so you can get the Reliquary Prime?
Yeah, Mirror would have been sick, but there's no way you pick it because you know your opponent has a Penflinger in hand.
Yeah. Imagine if you won as Paladin, or as No Hands, with your opponent's Reliquary Prime in one game and Cthulhu in the same day.
Yeah, he picked Counterspell and Netherwind Portal.
Nice.
No, and this is going to take a lot of time for DreadEye to win with Penflingers. He's not playing his most powerful thing every turn. That's slightly concerning.
I'd like to buff my 4/6 here, just so it's got 5 attack.
Oh!
Face off.
Apexis Blast Devolving Missiles. He can guarantee that the Libram of Wisdom gets devolved. Because he's got +1 spell damage.
Right. So he gets the 6 here.
Okay, that's good.
reason number 2 I'd like that to have been a 5/7. The other one being that your opponent's minions have 5 health. But okay.
Okay, maybe trade ping Encanter's Flow? Or Font of Power ping? Is Encanter's Flow worth it with no card draw on deck? Or would you rather have the mana spent to be able to spend on minions?
I wonder.
I don't want a Cone of Cold. What?
Yeah, there's fewer buffs than there used to be, but
He could get a Libram of Hope.
yeah, there's some bad things can happen to him for leaving this up.
He doesn't have a spell, so this ended up working out because now No Hands can actually deal with the Reliquary Prime quite easily with just Flame Strike. Ooh, Cram Session. Mwah.
Are there any lethals here? I mean, yes, but are they 1 turn or 2 turn?
No, because he's at if you don't Flame Strike here, then he is at 30. So
You have to find. He can leave this. I can't leave the Flame Strike to last very easily, so he does have to do it. Just because there's 15 attack on the board, you kind of wanted to stick it all in the face, but this is plenty. It sets up the Cram Session for next turn, and there's loads on the board.
It just sets up lethal. Yeah, it just sets up lethal. He could Sword of the Fallen, Northwatch Commander, but he doesn't have enough Libram reductions. Oh no, he does. He can play a Libram of Hope for 4, exactly 4. Nope.
No. 2 games to 1.
Yep.
Interesting. I thought he had that one there, I must admit. Yeah.
Still some things I disagree with. I think he ended the game with double Sword of the Fallen in hand.
That turn was weird.
No swings played. He played the Kara Rome instead, which yes puts on more pressure, but like with an Encanter's Flow played, the odds that Mage doesn't have ways to deal with that board at that point is pretty low. And forcing them, especially at that point in the game, like 4 mana, 5 mana, to have to play into Oh My Yogg or potentially Oh My Yogg, that's a really big deal. And pulling the secrets out of your deck. He ended up drawing an Avenge, right, at some point, but it could have been a lot worse. He could have drawn way more secrets than that. He wasn't tutoring those cards out of his deck. And also another thing is not just playing his strongest thing every turn. He wasn't going to get there with 1 Penflinger. He started fitting in Penflingers at like 9 health and played like Penflinger, Avenge, Aldor Trueseeker instead of just Reliquary Priming as early as he could. And I just like playing my strongest thing, right? Just play your strongest thing, and Penflingers will end the game later. He's not going to gain health. You don't have to rush, right? He's not gaining health, so either he's going to clear your biggest thing or he's not, and you're going to kill him.
The other thing with playing Cariol is you waste the ability on the card.
Yeah, but that wasn't a big deal for me as much as...
You've got a perfectly functional play that does almost exactly the same thing in terms of how much numbers it puts on the board, because all 3 secrets there effectively do the same thing as Cariol. They buff your board to some degree one way or the other. And there's nothing wrong with just playing a 4-3 for numbers, but if you can play a 4-3 for numbers with Rush as opposed to one without it and not make much difference to it, it wants to go face, but most of the disasters are taunt things that get in the way anyway, or your board gets cleared and the secrets stop all of that.
Yeah. Yep. So, but I think No Hands played that one very clean. Like even going as like playing the more expensive Arcane Intellect, because knowing that he'll need to go for a bigger swing turn later, which is exactly what he did, right?
Yep.
So just like seeing those decisions pay off in real time is cool, especially when you're playing a deck like Mage. Even though it's strong, he just played. That was a 1 Encanter slow game, right? That's like a reasonably powerful deck. Sure, it would still be a tier 1 deck, but that's not like the deck of Lunacy 70+% win rate in a mulligan nonsense. That's Encanter's Flow, which is like a respectable 60%, you know, which is way lower than Sword of the Fallen, way lower than Alder Attendant. Even lower than Jandis and Rogue. So, nicely done. But now, still, NoHandsGamer has some room to make up here. Yeah, has some work to do. But DreadEye just needs to close it out, and he's had Solid hands. Elder Attendant into Sword of the Fallen. If he picks up anything that's playable in the early game on this mulligan. All right, I have Anointment. Sure, it's not the best, but still quite good.
Yeah, it's good. You want something with Avenge. It's fine. It's a card. Yep. It's not a waste. Nobody has taken DreadEye to game number 5 all week, let alone beaten him. So right, No Hands could just win this one game. Yeah, it's new territory if No Hands wins this game. Well, he's going to have a lot of cheap nothing in a couple of turns' time.
Yeah. So, No Hands saw a 2 keep. So, he's pretty confident that Sword of the Fallen was kept. So, there's no reason for him to play Draconic Studies. At the moment, I don't think. I think he would love to just play Draconic Studies into a potential Oh My Yogg.
Here we go. It's coin time. He needs to do it. He knows what's going to happen. Well, he doesn't. He knows as much as we know. Which is this is going to happen.
It was raised dead. So it didn't do anything.
Unfortunate. But not the worst. We've seen worse things happen, yeah.
I thought he didn't play the Draconic Studies to use that to test for Oh My Yogg. Oh my god, he drew the Northwatch Commander. But he has 2 Avenges in hand. Okay, so it's Galloping Savior is the secret.
Shadowword Ruin will come in very handy when your opponent starts making 8/8 Divine Shield minions. If you're still around at that point. Soul Mirror is really not that great against Paladin, is it? It's okay if you can sort of put it in there with another spell, but on its own, it's just not that great.
Yeah. The Hand of a Doll should go on the 3/4. To play around Hysteria, because if you put it on the 1/3,
yeah,
then it would be able to kill both. Oh, gonna play Avenge instead? Okay.
Yeah, the damage is mounting up, so that makes sense to me.
I feel like he could have just played Hand of a Doll instead and just pushed more damage and still played around Hysteria. I wonder what the Libram is there for. To not draw a card? To not draw a secret, maybe? I'm not sure.
Right, so the crux of the whole of this week's event is these 3 or 4 turns right now. No Hands is just getting towards his removal, and DreadEye is getting towards a lot of damage.
Ah. He's so close to Hysteria being able to clear, but if he Holy Smites any of these minions, then Hysteria is not a clear anymore.
I must.
Right.
Quickly.
This is awkward, actually.
You can Holy Smite after, then the Avenge takes over. Yeah. But he does have the Shadowword Ruin next turn. He can do a lot of things like Shadowword Ruin with Avengers and Hysterias and Smites.
Yeah, but now next turn he's going to have to worry about Oh My Yogg.
Oh, and the weapon.
Wait, no, swing with the weapon, swing with the weapon. Swing with the weapon first.
In case anyone wonders why, wanted to get that other secret out of your deck.
Let me think.
In case you draw it by mistake.
Okay, he's not going to play. Please draw Oh My Yogg, please. Never punished.
TJ's a purist, everybody. He likes the correct plays to work and the incorrect ones to be punished.
Unless he doesn't swing with the weapon this turn. But he's got Libram Judgment in hand. Swing with the weapon.
Yeah, the defense would be you could make an argument for he was trying to put the Yogg into a specific turn or something. But now he swung with a weapon, so that defense does not exist.
Okay.
Are you calm?
I'm good.
Good.
All right, start this off with something you want to throw away. You know that it's Oh My Yogg. It's going to be a 0 mana something.
It's a 0 mana. Lightning Bloom. Well, DreadEye thinks that's really bad, but it might end up being okay, honestly. For him.
Now, No Hands has to. He only has 4 mana available next turn. I think that's like the biggest.
Exactly. It's good this turn. Like he will be able to do a lot with that mana this turn, but he's facing down a Liver of Justice that's going to go like really, really painful next turn with only 4 mana. It's a big deal.
All right, now he can Hysteria for the clear.
Yes,
Nicely done. Secrets diffused. And that is all the secrets in the deck, I believe. Except for the one Avenge in the hand.
Bosh him for 5.
I don't know. I think you're supposed to go wide with minions here.
You can do that. Your opponent doesn't have much mana.
Yeah, you just saw Condemn. Like, you equip Libram Judgment, go face for 5. No, he's at 15, and he has like a turn. He's overloaded this turn as well, so you don't want to give him like a turn where, like a free turn of whatever.
Yeah, you're right. These minions actually connect a lot of the time here because of that overload. Then you can boss him for like 12 or something, whatever it is next turn, if they survive. I like it.
Yeah.
I was ready to give up on them, but you're right. This is too much. Just turn down.
And No Hands knows that this is Avenge, so can just feel free to Heart of Cthulhu, and is in pretty good shape. Has Shadow of Ruin, Soulmere, and Condemn for board sweeps, and then if he gets a free turn, he can Malagos. The hard part will be getting a free turn. There's only been one Libram reduction played, which means that Lady Liadrin does not have much value here.
And you need that value to get this one home, I think.
Yeah.
Pushing the button a lot, that's always a sign that you think you haven't got enough resources when you're playing against priests and such like. And warriors, back when that was... do you remember that was in Hearthstone? Warrior? That was a good class.
Yeah. I think it's actually good. People just haven't found a good deck yet.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Stereo is clear.
Back up again. And his hand is getting pretty terrifying as well.
Yep. He just needs this one save turn to be able to play Malagos. Oh, and there's no cost reduction for the Libra of Hope.
Ooh, we're so used to that costing like 4 or 6 or whatever, different decks. We forget it's actually an expensive Hearthstone card to play. My answer to everything is bosh him for 5, but I'm not sure that that's right every time either. But this time, I think it is the only actual play available.
Yeah, this time I think it is right. I think No Hands can still go with Malagos because he's going to be drawing a ton of healing. Actually, he only gets 5 spells. He's got double Desperate Prayer, double Renew in the deck, Apotheosis.
I mean, do you need to be particularly greedy? Your opponent has 4 cards, you've got another Malagos, you're kind of almost stabilized already. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, No Hands has got to be feeling pretty good from here, I think.
I think so.
A tough one for DreadEye to win.
Yeah, I think it ends pretty quickly as well. It may be a few minutes, but in terms of number of turns, I don't think now that this goes much longer very often.
Yeah. No Hands does have to make some efficient turns still. I think he can afford to Shadow and Ruin here, and then he's... let's see... Apotheosis, that would be 5 mana. If he wants, he could Thrive in the Shadows, so you start with that. And then a heal. I think it's a solid turn.
Yeah, and you've still got Soul Mirror for later use, where if there's an emergency occurs.
Yeah, he could also... No, he doesn't want it. He can't inside now. Yep, Shadow and Ruin, and then I would Apotheosis, and then... you could even Insight, since you're healing for 6 with the Apotheosis. Insight, either Ogre, Mancer, or Azarella. Yep.
He took that Ruin a long time ago for this moment. Like, he waited on that Ruin for a long time, knowing that this is the sort of scenario he was likely to get into.
Yep. Malagos will bite the dust here, but that's the Libram of Judgment gone for DreadEye in full, which is a great feeling for No Hands, because he does not have to worry about burst. It's Penflinger damage. That's all he has to worry about. And this is not a very threatening board. He can do whatever he wants this turn. DreadEye still has not drawn a Truth Seeker, so these Librams are still expensive. Even though Lady Liadra is in hand, the Libra of Hope still costs 7 mana. Libra of Wisdoms are free, though. We'll get back a bunch of those.
Yeah, he's good, but he needs to not be complacent, because...
Oh no, Focus Will. Not yet. I'd like Focus Will, though. Focus Will means that he can silence if DreadEye buffs all of his Libram targets. Great pickup.
So the problem isn't clearing this board, it's which cards are most useful as the game goes on.
Yeah.
Because this turn, anybody can clear this board, even me. I'd just get the cats to pick a couple of cards and, you know, that'd be it. The board would be clear.
Thinking of just like Blade Master, Eye of Cthulhu, or...
Yeah, this is about which cards don't you want later, and this seems like a good choice.
I don't like the silence.
Okay.
Because now Lady Liadra comes down and played a good amount of Librams.
Yep.
Maybe it doesn't matter. Oh, second Libram. Okay.
I think that none of it matters. That's kind of the problem that I think maybe No Hands is having, but your reasoning makes sense to me of that being not the right way to go.
Soul Mirror and Maw.
Yep.
Just to have minions on the board. No Hands has to have the read that Lady Liadra is in hand, though.
Yeah, there's
a minion on the other side of the board, but I don't think 8 Librams have been, or 7 Librams have been played to be able to trade over, so.
So he can dump the Librams at some point with a Luciana. Lucia. I always call it Luciana. Always have done. Don't know why. Mindrender.
This is 6 Librams? That's my guess. 2 Hopes and 6 Wisdoms. Oh, no, 4 Wisdoms.
6, 7. So that is the task for No Hands. Just remove this lot. And Lucia removes a lot of it. Because of the way they're reduced, Lucia is actually ridiculous here, I think.
He doesn't get them reduced.
Oh, I always, yeah. So he doesn't get to play the Libram, the main ones, yeah.
No, it's pen flingers that's the important part of that combo because that's the recurring damage piece.
No, sure. I thought he got the. That's twice. I've tried to do that as well. And the cheap ones he gets rid of as well, but no hope.
Okay, Shadow or Death. Not to be used this turn, but will be used at some point. Ooh, Runaway Blackwing. I think you just trade over and play that this turn.
Wow. It's like never the pick except now.
Wait, what?
I think he just didn't see it. I think it's one of those situations where you just don't see the card because you've never ever picked it before.
Stars provide.
I think
I
that's
guess
what he
this
was
is
saying.
the last chance. This is okay. Never mind. This is the last chance he'll ever be able to use Xyrella, I guess. But the Runaway Blackwing did the same thing here, and he gets to stick 3 minions on board. But this is easier to pick apart with the Pen Flinger. Yeah, no, I really liked the Runaway Blackwing there.
I do that, and I think it's just a case of you just never do that. And like you say, the Xyrella was good, everything looked good, and I think
he saw it. I think he saw it. I think he just preferred Xyrella.
Okay.
In this instance, because he used his renew. If he doesn't play Xyrella there, then he's never going to play it again.
Still Lieberming away, but just not getting through. The priest has been going upwards in health in the last few turns, not downwards.
Oh, Blade Master Apotheosis.
Sure. Absolutely.
I wonder.
This is starting to get a little awkward for No Hands, though. Just because there's no light at the end of the tunnel. I just don't think Mind Render is worth it yet. Because he knows what the hand is. He knows the hand is double Libram of Hope, Pen Flinger, double Hand of Adal. He should know if he's been tracking what spells were played. He can barely play any of those, right? He would play Mind Render, and then he would play Mind Render, then he would dump the Pen Flinger. That's it. That's all he would do.
The ones that could have been silenced, but I think he was expecting to Elucia earlier.
I still don't think you Lucy until you know both Pen Flingers are there.
That's also possible, yeah.
Oh yeah, Soul Fragments. I forgot. I was like, it feels like he has so many cards.
Yeah, you
played a Spirit Jailer.
Wow. Okay. Both on 30.
At what point this game does No Hands like Malagos just to give a Cthulhu clock? I guess Cthulhu's never going to be lethal, right?
Yeah,
because there's always going to be a minion because of the Libram.
It's kind of what I was saying earlier. Cthulhu itself, I mean, you win with Cthulhu a lot, but it's almost never actually lethal because there's always something lurking around in these decks that you have to kill on the same turn, and it costs 10, so you can't. You win the turn after you Cthulhu quite often, but Cthulhu itself is almost never lethal unless you give it to your opponent.
Yeah. Now I feel like he might have to Lucia because he literally has nothing else to do.
Yeah, and he's been sort of lowering his hand size for a while as well, so.
Share your thoughts with the class now.
Oh, he's gonna dig for the second flinger.
Nice try. And there's some fatigue in there anyway as well, so that's okay.
Yeah. All right, now he can go. Wait, no.
Wait.
What?
No.
What?
No, not like this. You're supposed to be dumping the flinger, not keeping it in your hand.
Loathe mistakes.
Oh no. How many turns ago did he decide he was going to do that and then just didn't do it?
I wonder.
Oh, DreadEye could play Malygos and draw like most of the deck. Try and win in fatigue. Gets a Cthulhu. Doesn't sound like the best plan.
I must move quickly. I am the spell.
That's what's left.
I'm almost out of cards.
One Cthulhu spell.
Wow.
I'm out of cards.
I'm struggling, TJ.
Play your minions.
Yeah. And then play your Cthulhu and hope it's enough, because it's really good.
Not you.
Do you play
don't need
Ogremancer
to.
there? I'm pretty sure you insight there, right? Wait, what? No, you're supposed to insight there because it draws the Cthulhu and reduces its cost.
Right, what
And then you can Shadow Word Death Cthulhu. Then you could Shadow Word Death
Okay.
Cthulhu in the same turn.
Yep, then you are supposed to insight there, you're right. Yep.
I wonder.
Because now you're just playing Cthulhu and a load of damage is going to go onto the minion rather than you just winning the game. Although, with this bigger board, it's probably fine, to be honest.
I mean, I'm done with probably fine. Like,
I think that's an improvement.
I think that insight. Obviously, DreadEye knows that the Shadow Word Death is there, so maybe no, you don't play around it because you got to put levers on something. Like, would he really play around insight Cthulhu into Shadow Word Death? I don't know. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to insight the Cthulhu there. Yes, you get closer to fatigue, but the insight's a dead card. Yes, he played the Ogremancer, which gives him the 2/2s, but I think the Shadow Word Death could push him through more. He would have had 6 damage on board, right? It still wouldn't have been enough. I mean, I think this is probably just lethal regardless. No, I think he did it the right way. I think he did it the right way, because there was no, he couldn't have guessed which way that DreadEye was going to put the Librams. He gets 4 extra power on the board because he can't play all the Librams, so the Ogremancer is protection against Librams anyway. And he knows that there's 1 Libra of Hope in hand and knows that he's going to need 2 turns to clear through the Cthulhu.
Why doesn't he just play the Cthulhu now? I'm confused. Cthulhu would have got through for something like 13, and the minions get right through for like 13 more.
Okay, well, if he wasn't going to play the Cthulhu... because he actually doesn't even need the Cthulhu to win. He can just win with Ogremancer. There's no more hammer. There's no more...
But it was lethal. I'm like... maybe there's some extreme case where the Cthulhu misses a million times on the taunt that isn't lethal, but I'm pretty sure it was just lethal if he played it. With maybe a fringe case. It's lethal this way anyway, so who cares, I guess.
There's a big beefy minion in the middle that can absorb a lot of those hits.
There's 30 of them. So there's 13... there was 17 damage on board. Or
You have to think, once the taunts are dead, then it becomes 50-50 every hit for the high health minion to get hit. I think it's lethal a very low percentage of the time there.
I think the high health minion just dies and you take 13 to the face nearly always.
Okay, now there's 15 worth, and then there's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
It's the same spot without the 3/3, basically.
This is not... Yeah, okay. I mean, DreadEye knows that he's not going to win, because at the very least it clears the 8/8, and that's his last minion, right? Because Cthulhu's just going to hit face. Oh man, okay, that shouldn't have been as close of a game, to be honest. It should not have been that close of a game, but it was that close of a game, and I think just not a clean game from both sides, I guess.
It's been 4 days of intense competition.
Yeah, and today's getting late, and honestly, like I'll rescind what I said about the insight, because I think that the Ogremancer was a key part of that turn. So even though like Shadow Word Death plus Cthulhu would have been a sick combo to end the game, right? Inciting your Cthulhu going into fatigue so you can Shadow Word Death and Cthulhu in the same turn. I don't think it would have worked out, because he would have had like less damage on the board from the Ogremancer and the things that responded to Ogremancer. It stopped him from playing Librams, which meant that it stopped him from playing too many Penflinger hits. So I think that ultimately at the end of the game worked out, but he really needed to dump that Penflinger in the first place to not find himself in that position when he mind rendered to Lucia. His timing was good, dumping his cards was good. Everything was good, and just that one point there. But a sigh of relief, as he does bring this to Game 5, and that means it will come down to the Libra Paladin for DreadEye and Post Rogue for No Hands. And I think this is a very tough matchup for Post Rogue. You need to get a blazing fast start. You cannot be playing catch-up at any point, because DreadEye showed earlier in the day that against Luna, that he had a terrible opening hand. His opening hand was like double Avenge, double Oh My Yogg, and Talon Fordring. That was it. And he won that game. If you show me that opening hand and then Luna's opening hand, I would say Luna wins this game every time. DreadEye won. It was close, but DreadEye won. And it took a random flurry off of a Wand Thief to stop lethal damage coming at him the next turn, but he still won. But
DreadEye has never, in the history of Hearthstone Grandmasters, and we're in the 3rd year now, he has never been to a game of number 5. He has never been beaten, and he's never been to a game 5. So maybe he will crumble after all of these years of Grandmasters without playing a game number 5. This is his first one.
Yep, all these years. All 5 matches that he's played, this is his first game number 5 in Grandmasters. For those unaware, this is DreadEye's first season as a Grandmaster.
But there have been 5 seasons of Grandmasters, or 4 plus this one. Yeah, you're right. He's played 5 matches. This is his 5th, as you can see at the top there, 4-0. But this is the first time that he's gone beyond to 2 games all. He has won them all 3-1 previously. And now he has actually got to go the distance in the latest, most longest possible time of the whole week. And No Hands has been in these spots many times.
This is very awkward. Those are some bad 1-drops because he can't play any of them.
Yeah. They just get traded.
You can play the Knight of Anointment and that's it. Now No Hands gets to...
Wow.
Well, he doesn't get to value trade yet, but he could value trade Shadow Step.
Yeah, I mean, he had all sorts of options available.
I mean, that 1-2 play ends up being sick, because if he doesn't make that, then DreadEye gets to go... I guess he wouldn't have done that anyway. Never mind. I still like the Wand Thief played on 1. I think that was pretty good.
So 1-1. Paladin turn 1.
Oh, Jandis Step!
That changes everything, TJ. The 1-card deck has drawn its 1 card. And it can play it twice.
Yep, just needs to find something to fill the gap on turn 4. I wouldn't even hate a Secret Passage.
Yep, just to find some stuff, some bits.
Just to find some stuff to play on board. Maybe another post.
Weirdly, I don't think you want the Octo here.
No, I think I like Secret Passage.
Yep.
It's got the added benefit of testing for Oh My Yogg. I mean, he could just dagger up pass, Octobot dagger up pass. That's also reasonable, I guess.
Oh, you can reduce the Shadow Stepped Jandis.
I don't think he's thinking about that. I think he just wants board presence.
No, I mean, but now you can have a 2-mana Jandis on turn 6 as well. That's tasty.
Yeah.
So I think, well, the Octo's going to do nothing because the Jandis gets played, but yeah, it's going to get some sort of value. And like you say, it's a 1/4 against somebody who's obviously struggling to do anything.
What makes something real?
Here's Jandis. Ooh. Add Jandis relative to what's usually available, but still absolutely fine, of course.
Yeah, NoHands like, yes, it's not Oh My Yogg, yes.
Yeah, you have to learn to put yourself in those spots where you play the numbers, and the numbers say that isn't Oh My Yogg. And then you just have to steel yourself for the times that it quite often is.
Yeah. Still pretty clean for DreadEye to get that done. It is Avenge. NoHands is gonna get the word that that's Avenge.
Stab's okay though.
Oh, Twilight! Oh, it's so good.
Stab's okay. You want to eat 7? I don't think you want to eat 7. I think you want to trade. 7's just a lot. So close for NoHands. For what I think, despite the difference in experience between the players, I think this would actually be a surprise win for NoHandsGamer in this final, just because of the lineups.
Potentially. I think the preset adds a lot to the lineup, to be honest. As opposed to like the matchup we saw in the semifinals.
That's an upgrade. Probably.
Right.
Okay, like Hero Power Avenge here, I think.
Yeah, and NoHands still has stuff. Like, if you wanted to have 3 cards that weren't Jandis in your hand, this is okay.
No, Sword of the Fallen Avenge. That way he can play Lemur of Hope next turn.
Okay.
Yeah, I like this play. Alright, so I think you start off with attacking the 3/5. Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure you want the Avenge on the... Maybe I'm wrong. Ah, yes! To the face!
Getting in range, even with 8 healing now, would be irritating, but I think he could deal with that. He is holding on to the field contact again. Gonna get plenty out of that, most likely, even so.
Post, Brain Freeze. Yep.
Yeah.
And even though DreadEye is going to be healing for 8 with Lemur of Hope, needs to take another 5 to kill this Twilight Runner. And second Lemur of Hope now costs 10.
It's a long way off. It's only 3 turns away, but 3 turns is a long way off right now. Oh, and having to eat that 5. This Jandis is so much work. again.
All right, and the secret pulled is Galloping Savior. Oh man, Kargal.
Yeah.
There's been 3 posts played.
And he doesn't even need to do it this turn.
Yeah. DreadEye actually doesn't have another Libram of Justice.
I always irk at Potions of Illusion. They always scare me, but Apexis Blast might just be the pick. But he can play more watch posts with Potion of Illusion. Is that bait? Am I getting drawn in here?
Yeah, I don't like Potion of Illusion. All right, so now we're looking for... Yeah, I'm Shadow Stepping something, and then Secret Passage.
Interesting.
2, 3, 4, 5. 5 cards played so far this turn.
Deck of Lunacy might decide the finals.
7 cards, right? That was 7 cards? I was only 6. There's no way he ever plays Deck of Lunacy. He would much rather have the cards in his deck.
I actually wasn't sure about the Shadow Step there. Just because Kargal is going to be so huge, doing it twice is just a lot of stats. It's
You
slower.
only ever need to do it once in this.
It's a lot slower, yeah.
He needed to play the Shadow Step because he needed the... I guess at the end, he thought he'd be able to Prize Plunder. His goal was to Secret Passage and then hit the Prize Plunder, because then that would have been exactly 7 damage. So he planned it out perfectly. He just drew the Prize Plunder before he was able to Secret Passage. So,
Yeah.
I really liked his plan, though. It just didn't work out perfectly in the end. But now he's in a great spot because he gets to drop a pretty much full value Kargal. He can also drop a Cult Neophyte along with it. He just trades 1/2 into 3/1, and then the 2/1 over the Alder Attendant, plays a Kargal, which is 4 5/5s, and a Cult Neophyte to back it up.
Yeah. Like you say,
And-
you need to play that twice. Good luck to you.
Yeah. And that should end the game, because the Libram of Hope currently in DreadEye's hand is 10 costs, which can't come down next turn, and it would be 11 costs because of the Cult Neophyte. So, I think this one should lock it up.
Looking good for No Hands. He's had an interesting tournament, to say the least, especially today, especially that semi-final.
Yeah.
But he has also played incredibly solid Hearthstone. For the most part. You know, there was an incident with a Penflinger and a Mindrender. But apart from that, a couple of mulligan decisions we weren't sure about. But they looked like practice decisions when we saw it in operation. And this is it. He's going to take down the week 1, TJ.
Yep, that's it. Penflinger, Apexis Blast, Penflinger on the 5/7. And then 15 damage to face plus a dagger for 16. Lethal Damage. Neil.
Somebody beats DreadEye and his lineup, and the person who's done it is NoHandsGamer, taking down $3,000, 5 points, and a lot of bragging rights as well, because there's going to be 7 weeks of this, and if you've got one in the bag, no one can say you didn't win one.
Yeah,
He is really happy, and that is why I like this format. You get to see somebody win every single week in a top quality difficult field and feel very good about themselves.
Yeah, I think that No Hands played a great final. Except for the one little hiccup, I think that it was clean Hearthstone play all the way through. DreadEye, I think, you know, overall he did well, especially for his first weekend. There was a couple of spots, I think there's just some, you know, housekeeping with his Hearthstone play, right? Just some things need to be cleaned up a little bit in order for him to, like, truly shine. A lot of the things that I nitpicked at didn't end up mattering in the end, especially with Mage, but those things, when you get down to it, could start mattering. And there may even been a game, the Paladin game, that we had criticisms of, where he might even win that game sometimes if he just cleans it up just a tiny bit. So definitely a great performance for his first week in Grandmasters. 4-1 match score, not even that many game losses. So I'm sure, tightened it up. We're going to see him back in a top 4 pretty quickly. But a big congratulations to No Hands.
Yeah, I mean, something